Titignan ko kasi ma'am, ang pinaka-latest ang alam ko ay yung 2019. But let me see kung mayroong panibago na ano. Ang guidelines kasi ng MOO utilization ay hindi halos nagbago except for yung threshold. Except for the threshold. Dati-dati hindi ka pwedeng bumili ng equipment that is way above 15,000. Yun lang ang bago doon ha. Dati, bawal yung 15,000 according to COA rules. Pero ngayon, itinaas na yung threshold na yon during the pandemic yun na period nung binago. So, inakyat na siya into 50,000. Yun lang po yung bago doon. All the rest ay wala namang binabanggit pa ang COA at ang usually mama, kapag pinag-usapan natin yung MOO utilization, usually COA rules ang nag-apply COA rules ang nag-a-apply. Kasi kaperahan po yung pinag-uusapan natin dyan. So, everything is actually under the, kung meron mang ilalabas si DepEd, ito ay naka-anchor kung ano yung existing policy ng Commission on Audit.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
So, yun lang pagkakaiba niya kay, yung nauna. 15,000 dati, yun yung ceiling. Kaya kapag may mga ipinili kang equipment that is more than that, pinapaniwalaan na bakit ka bumili ng ganun kalaking amount wala ka namang capital outlay. Kasi usually kapag ka 15,000 and above, dapat naka-capital outlay ka na. Samantalang ang eskwelahan ay hindi nabibigyan naman ng capital outlay. Okay, doon ka lang kasi pwedeng bumili ng ganun mga kamamahal na mga equipment. Pero ngayon, during the pandemic, inakyat po ito into 50,000. So, medyo safe na yon. Medyo safe na yung amount na yon as to the current pricing ng ating mga different equipment na kailangan po ni school. Okay? You have clarifications?
No more, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, sige. Hindi ko na muna babanggitin yung tatlo pa na domains. I am going to stop share and then mag-share ulit ako ng panibago. At i-share ko naman ngayon ang isa sa may pinakamarami na content na, how do you call that? Pinakamarami na konsepto under domain number 2. Okay? So ito po yung Educational Facilities Manual. Na-download na po ba ninyo ito?
Hindi pa po, sir.
Nakikita nyo na po yung nasa yung screen, yung aking sinishare?
Yes,
okay, good. Now, paglating ko siya ng konti ha. Okay, para mas malinaw po sa atin. Ito po yung 2010 Educational Facilities Manual. May bago na ba na manual? So far, wala pa. As of my personal knowledge, ang ginagamit pa po natin ay yung 2010. Okay? Ang 2007 ang nauna and then meron na tayo ngayon na 2010. Ito ay 2010 Educational Facilities Manual. Ito yung ginagamit po ni DepEd, no? Kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, ito yung binabanggit sometimes na DEX Manual, no? Halos parehas lang naman, may mga ito kasi mga panibago na ng mga issuances ang kanyang ibinibigay. The problem with some of the provisions of ay may mga obsolete na or should we say may mga panibago na revise na ng mga procedures. Kaya titingnan pa rin po natin kung alin dito ang napapanahon at alin yung pinaka-importante. Kaya makikita ninyo there are 224 pages but we are only going to highlight yung mga significant, yung sa tingin natin na very common na pwede natin or pwede nating bigyan ng diin, no, bilang trabaho natin bilang school principal. Okay? So this will be 2010 and panahon pa ni Jessie Lapus yan. So ito ay collaborative undertaking ng lahat ng halos sa mga agencies na attached kay DepEd. And karamihan po ng ginamit po dito ng mga documents, these are all documents that were released, and they're all based from existing DepEd orders as of 2010 and all the Republic Acts, no, na naipasa as of 2010 pa rin yan, kasi nga ito yung ginagamit na mga references. Okay, so in here we are going, it is divided into many different chapters. Ang pinakauna dito will be yung educational facilities for basic ed. Kikita natin yung mga different provisions, no? Okay, and then marami ka pang makikita dito na very practical. So sabi ko nga, it's a combination of a lot of different orders and yung mga legal bases, no? Usually mga Republic Acts yan. And then we have school sites on page 58, no? And so on, no? So marami po yan, kaya hindi ko na i-detalye po ang lahat, no? Kailangan lang nating tingnan kung alin dito talaga yung mga pwedeng gamitin or high probability na makikita natin. So there are 5 chapters na from here. And tignan natin, chapter 6, monitoring and evaluation na yan. Okay. Kung titignan natin, this will already be a very crucial point, no? So yung monitoring and evaluation of the educational facilities, makikita natin na yung monitoring and evaluation may konsepto na dito, ha, under this manual. Meron kang what do you call that? Preliminary evaluation, progressive evaluation, and culminative evaluation. Then may marami kang mga evaluative instruments diyan, but these are all related to the facilities. No? These are all related to the facilities. Okay? So let's start off with the education facilities for basic ed. Tingnan natin yung mga konsepto na pinaka-importante natin na bibigyan ng pansin. Ito yung ating educational facilities referring to the physical properties of the school, kasama na po yung grounds, yung building, ano pa, ayan, no? Yung building and the various facilities within the school grounds and inside the school buildings. Ang pinaka-importante sa lahat ng mga school facilities ay ano yung pinaka-importante sa lahat? Aling facility ng school ang pinaka-importante? Yung opisina ni principal?
Teaching,
instructional rooms.
Okay, instructional classrooms, no? Itong mga buildings na yan caters to the instructional classroom. Ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat ng ating mga components, no, ng ating educational facilities. Dito ibibigay yung mga basic principles ng ating educational facilities, kasama na dito yung paggamit ng building, no? How to maximize collaboration, how to build a proactive facility management program, planning schools as neighborhood scale community learning centers. Consider the following steps, no? Yan. Okay, so may mga legal basis pang nababanggit dito, but lately hindi na ko na nakikita yung konsepto ng SFI, ha? Hindi na halos ito lumalabas, pero meron rin itong konsepto ng SBM, okay, school-based management. And then here, ito yung isa sa pinaka-crucial part, yung mapping. Pag sinabi natin na school mapping, it's a dynamic process of planning the distribution, the size, and the spacing of schools. Karaniwan, meron tayong tinatawag na school site development plan, no? Meron kang school site development plan. Pero ang karaniwan na ipinapakita natin ay ang current na status ng school structure, which is wrong, no? Pag sinabi natin na site development plan, the plan contains the future, no, yung mga future programs na pwedeng gawin dun sa school site. Pero hindi niya sinasabi na kapag sinabi mong school site development plan, ipapakita mo yung current structure. Site school map yung pinapakita natin doon. Hindi natin pinapakita doon yung development plan kung saan tatayo yung panibagong building in relation to the anticipated enrollment or yung increase ng enrollment ng school. So meron kang projection kung may bagong darating na building, itatayo siya dito. No? Hindi yung parang kabuti lang na sumusulpot yung ating mga buildings. No? Ibig sabihin nun, ay kulang tayo sa school site development process at nag-uumpisa yan doon sa tinatawag na school mapping process. No? Nag-uumpisa ito sa school mapping process. It's the process of mapping school, school mapping covering the following specific areas for expansion and the improvement of facilities. Okay? So, specific areas for expansion, tinitignan mo yan bilang school head na kapag may mga parating na building, alam mo kung saan siya ilalagay in relation to the existing buildings. Tinitignan mo na kung saan ka pwedeng magpatayo ng mas marami pang building if in case na lulobo yung population ng school. Ganong mga bagay na kailangan mo tanungin kapag ikaw ay nag-undergo ng school mapping process. Okay, yung provision of new or additional facilities. Kasabay dito yung diagnosis of existing situation, ano ba yung mga iba't ibang environmental or geographic factors na meron ng iyong lugar. Okay, yung demographic factors niya, referring to the population size, growth, density, and so on. Economic factors refer to the per capita income, part dito ng ating diagnosis. Educational factors, political factors, and the manpower factors. So, ang mga yan ay parte ng pag-diagnose ng existing situation ng ating school. Okay? Originally part of the school mapping exercise. Moving forward, okay na yan, hindi ko na bibigyan, but I hope that you're able to read the very important points of here ng ating 2010 Educational Facilities Manual. So, ang expected result ng school mapping ay meron kang school buildings requiring repair. So, alam mo, aling mga buildings ang nangangailangan ng repair, kailangan ng mga iba't ibang mga kailangang i-jack up. Okay? Ano yung mga several concerns na pwedeng ini-refer doon sa building na yon. Schools requiring additional classrooms, opening of new schools, phasing out of existing schools, resource allocation, and environmental mapping. Kasama po yan doon sa ating. Okay? So, specific outputs of school mapping, syempre makikita natin yung prioritization part of schools based on the defined set of criteria, identification of the location of the new schools that will be built, and grouping of entries based on defined set of attributes. Okay? Parte po yan ng tinatawag natin na school mapping exercise or the SME of DepEd. So the components of SME, tandaan natin, yung ating school mapping exercise ay meron kang database planning, meron kang geographic information system-based school profiling system, and the capacity building of the regional, division, and local government units as part of their participation to the SME or the school mapping exercise. Okay? The SME shall be able to describe the community situation, and it has evolved as an information system building through the geographic information system technology. Okay. So again, dito tayo sa school mapping exercise rin, but we're done here. So tingnan na natin ngayon yung ating ergonomics. Pag sinabi natin na ergonomics, pertains to the laws or the theories of the energy expenditure. So it involves the study of the efficiency of the persons in their working environment, which is most conducive to the efficient performance of the teaching-learning process. Okay, kasama dyan yung under ergonomics yung visual acuity, visual comfort, no, thermal comfort, yan, pag-uusapan natin yan later on. Anthropometry is a science of measuring the human body, its parts, and the functional capabilities. An important principle in ergonomics of the educational facilities is that it shall be designed and scaled to fit the sizes of their users on the basis of their part body measurements. So medyo numerical, no, itong si anthropometry. Although you will not be asked to memorize, no, lahat ng mga yan, but we're just telling you na ito yung mga kailangan natin bibigyan ng pansin bilang school head, no. So thermal comfort, part ito ng ergonomics, no. So natural ventilation yung ating pinaka kumbaga official na sinusunod, no. So by natural ventilation, ang ibig sabihin nito ay tinitingnan natin mabuti, no, yung location ng ating mga school buildings kapag sila po ipapatayo to minimize yung solar heat loads. That is, building shall face approximately the east-west direction and its long sides along the north and south direction to avoid sunlight. Okay? So, take note of that. Ang north-south direction, okay, ay ito yung direction, no, noong wind, the breeze, no, yung breeze. Pero yung arrangement ng ating building ay hindi dapat naka north and south. Kailangan ito ay east to west yung ating direction so that yung pagpasok ng hangin ay naka north to south ka na direction. Okay, yun yung principle niyan. Meron yan sa mga tanong na makikita nyo later on. Ano pa? Natural ventilation na ang nire-require or nire-recommend po ng ating Philippine Green Building Council or the PhilGBC. No? Yung paggamit ng mga electric fans ay an AC should only be a backup solution. But the PhilGBC na sinusundan po natin, dapat ito ay gumagamit ng natural ventilation over those appliances na ating ginagamit inside the classroom. Okay? For visual comfort naman, meron akong ibibigay na example later on na yung standard na classroom in general is to have a minimum illumination level of 10-foot candles. No? It is considered normally sufficient, and the research has shown no significant increase in visual acuity with the increase of foot candles above the 100-foot candle standard. So, minimum po tayo ay 100-foot candles. Yung foot candles na binabanggit yan, it's a unit, ha? It's a kind of a unit that measures yung reflection capacity ng isang material. Okay? So, pati yung wattage ha, pinibigay, 4 na 40 watt daw, or 6 na 40 watt, or even 8 na 40 watt na source lamps are sufficient standard requirements to achieve visual acuity. Alright? So, maraming mga factors na po pwedeng maka-apekto sa ating visual acuity. Nandiyan na po yung natural illumination, yung condition ng classroom, yung type ng building, the climatic condition, and the ceiling height. No, yan po yung mga different factors that might affect yung ating visual comfort. Next, acoustical comfort. Meron tayong mga tips or mga important building requirements, no? Pag pinag-usapan po natin yung ating mga guidelines here, especially dito ay acoustical comfort. So, nire-regulate, no, yung intrusive sounds that are coming from the different sources, including, no, the teachers themselves. No? So tinitingnan natin ito as part po ng ating attainment ng conducive learning environment. So meaning, itong topic na ito, although nandun siya kay domain number 2, ay may kinalaman pa rin ito kay domain number 3 and so on. Alright. Sige. Color scheme adopted by DepEd. Paki-check po mabuti ito, no? Yung Palmyra or Palmyra Green, no? DepEd QDE Palmyra Green yung ginagamit para sa mga doors. Pag columns naman ay beige, no? Exterior wall, ganun din ang interior wall at ganun din po yung ceiling. No? So yung roofing and accessories naman ay DepEd green, but all the rest po ay beige ang kanilang color combination. Okay, that is specifically mentioned under the 2010 educational facilities. Okay? DRR, meron po itong pinaka-latest kasi baka hindi naka-upload dito yung hindi integrated yung DRR, yung research halimbawa. So we needed to come up with yung ating material. You can download it para maano po natin, madagdagan yung kaalaman natin when it comes to disaster risk reduction and management. Okay? Educators and professionals. I will not dwell on that kasi masyadong mami po ito. So, dito na tayo ngayon sa green schools. So, again, the green schools po ay Philippine Green Building Council ang tinitingnan po natin na authority in terms of the provision ng mga guidelines ng pag-develop or pag-construct po ng ating mga classrooms. Okay, ano pa ba? So, Verde certification. Okay, sige, masyadong marami ito. Next. Disaster risk reduction pa rin, but we'll have separate discussion for that kaya hindi ko na ito masyadong bibigyan ng pansin pa. Yung fire prevention and safety measures that is according to the National Building Code of the Philippines under the 2005 edition. Sabi ko nga, kung may panibagong edition na yan, ay pwede nyo nang magamit at hindi na po yung 2005 edition. No? Let me check mamaya kung may mahahanap po ako regarding that. Ayan. Specifically, tingnan po natin ito. Provision for open spaces as temporary evacuation sites for earthquake, fire, and other emergencies. Okay? Let's try to highlight this po. Kasi kapag sinabi po natin na classroom, hindi natin po pwede po na hindi ito ipahiram. No? During kasi mandato po natin yan na ang mga buildings natin ay ino-open natin during calamities or during emergencies. Okay. Part po yan ng agreement with that of the school and the community. Okay? So, hindi po dapat ito ipinagbabawal ni principal. Kahit nasabihin natin na ito ay medyo nakakasagabal, but we really needed the intervention ng ating local government unit. Ganitong mga bagay na yung mga evacuees ay hindi na po natin napapaalis on time. Otherwise, magsasuffer po yung ating klase. Okay? Provision of water, kasama na po yan. Ideal water supply is prescribing the ideal water supply system. Kung meron tayong deep well. Kung wala ay meron tayong yung mga local water utilities na po pwede naman natin na pagkuhanan. Okay. Ayan. Yung mga inuming tubig naman ay pwede naman, chargeable naman ito under the MOE. Meron tayong nilalagay dyan na for drinking water. Okay. Ano pa? Take note, ang ating science laboratory should be designed as white space. Ang kanyang ay 7x18. 7x18. I believe meron akong item dyan na nagbibigay ng ganung klase para makita po natin. Okay, ano pa? ISMET and so on. In the proper use of the laboratory, ito yung mga recommended security and safety measures, and then the public-private partnership or assistance kapag may mga buildings po na or may mga schools na hindi po nabibigyan ng mga computer packages. So pwedeng ito ay mag-undergo ng public-private partnership. Okay? Sige. There are a lot more on this area, but of course, hindi ko na yan masyadong i-cover lahat kasi makikita naman natin ito doon sa ating mga questions na ibibigay ko po sa inyo. It's grade 243 and we are now going to go into